refer to it after. So again, if you do not want to be on the video, go ahead and turn your video off. Otherwise, you will be part of this video presentation. So, okay, so thank you for joining. I know that I've been sending out a bunch of information. This is a follow-up to the session that was held in December. I'm not sure if everybody on the call right now was part of that session, but we did share the recording of that as well as the PowerPoint and the PDF with all the instructions. That being said, we have, I recognize that this represents a change for some of you who have been using the system for a while and might have been used to entering the services directly into the web portal, that this is a change for you. And some people have been having a little bit more difficulty than others. So I wanted to make sure that, I offered an opportunity to have a live Zoom where if you have questions and things that are getting lost in translation with an email, that you have a chance to ask, and that I can go through it just step by step. If you would like to follow along by actually using the app while we're doing the session, I would encourage that. If you do decide to do that, just shoot me an email so that I can go ahead and delete that session. So just in the email say, I did a practice session, for today's training, please delete. I find that it more helpful when I'm walking a staff person through using the app when they're actually doing it. So I have no problem deleting it for you so that we make sure that you understand all the steps that need to be followed. Okay, so again, I know I know this has been for some of you a change, and the change is because of the federal mandate for electronic visit verification. And as a result, all services have to be documented in real time when they are taking place. So when you start a session, you have to use the app to go ahead, start the session. And then before you end the session, before you stop the session, you have to record the services and then stop the session. The date, the time, the location that the start and stop happened have to be recorded in real time. So Evero has the mobile app that is capturing all that information, and it works well for the most part. However, there are a bunch of steps, as I totally recognize. And if you do not do all the steps, what ends up happening is it throws it into employee time and it does not recognize it as a service. So that's why I wanted to make sure that we went over that today so that you understand everything that has to be done during the session in order for it to be captured properly. Okay, so I have up on the screen, this was a change as of January 1st. So you should be noticing now that the location details, it's picking up where you're starting, where you're stopping. And so at the end of the session summary, you'll notice this. In order for the location to to work, you have to allow location settings on your phone. So in this document, which I did put in the chat, which I have emailed probably 100 times, but certainly I could send out again if you're unable to download it. There's links here for those of you who have an Apple or an Android to how to access location settings on your specific phone. And it's pretty helpful. If you click on the links, it'll show you how to do that. So that's a phone specific thing, how to set up the location on the Evero app. What I would recommend is just simply indicating to use location while in the app. So you don't have to have location settings on at all times. And this is what the link will take you to. This is the Apple one, and this is the Android one. So again, you do not have to keep it on all the time. Just you choose the setting that says at a minimum enable while using the app. Okay, if the location is not enabled on your device, you will be blocked from proceeding with the session as of January 1st. again, due to the federal mandate, not because we want to make your life difficult, but because this is a requirement that the federal government has put on the states, and the states are implementing. And Evero, as the software company, has updated their system to stop you from being able to go in if you don't have the location services. So that's one thing that you'd want to check, is the location settings on your phone. Okay, just a few other questions. I'm just gonna, as people have reached out to me. So I want to make 100% sure that you employees, you understand this is not tracking you. Tracking means it's like if you think about Uber, where the whole session is being monitored. It's just simply pinpointing, as on the screen shows, where you started and where you ended. It does not have to be perfect. As many of you know, GPS is not perfect. Sometimes it might look as if you're next door. That's okay. It has a certain radius that it's going to accept that location. And if it's not at home, if you're starting out in the community, if you meet the person at the supermarket, that's totally fine. As long as that's acceptable with the individual you're working with, that's okay with us. We're not worrying about, we're not stopping you from starting or stopping anywhere. We're just indicating we have to know where the location is. Okay. Again, if you continue to be concerned about location services in general, what you can do is, after you start the session, you can go ahead and swipe out the app to basically turn it off, so that it doesn't make it seem to you that it's looking at your location. If you have an Apple, I know for me, when I have the app open, it's going to have a little blue ribbon at the top, so that if it does want the location, it'll allow it to be picked up, but that does not mean it's tracking you. If that makes you uncomfortable, just go ahead and swipe up the app so that it closes it out. And then when you log back in later to stop the session, it'll again pick up the location then. Okay. And if you have any questions, feel free, you can raise your hand or throw it in the chat. But I'm going to keep moving along to honor your time. Okay. So we're not tracking, we're not fencing, we're simply requesting the location. Okay, so now let's get down to it. This is the PowerPoint that that I've sent out. But I'm actually going to share my screen on my app, and so I'll walk you through a live session. So a few other things. The location needs to be on. As you know, for those of you who have been using the app, when Evero does updates, it will ask you to update the app. You will need to put in that provider code again, and it defaults on a regular basis. But when there's an app update, that goes away. So it's always CFSNY. So it's CFS. Self-directed supports, Center for Family Support, so CFSNY, if you try to just remember the acronym there, like our website, that's going to be the provider code. If you forget, it's right here on this document, or you can certainly reach out to us and we'll remind you. Okay. One other thing, sometimes you guys have contacted me and said, well, I tried to, excuse me, I tried to use the app today and it's just not allowing my login to work. I try to put my username and password and it's just not taking. What I would suggest that you do as a first point is to delete the app and reinstall it. Okay, so as a reminder to install the app, you're going to go to evero.com. Okay, so, and again, because you're installing it on your phone or on your mobile device or your tablet, you're going to do this on the device, on the browser on your device. Okay, so you're going to visit this website from your device. Up here it says Our Apps, and here is Digital Agency Mobile. There's a few other apps. There is one for telehealth, so you can actually communicate with the person that you're doing telehealth with through Evero. But that, if that doesn't apply to you, you're simply looking for digital agency. This My Care portal, that is for the families and individuals. Their app is different than your app. So if they say, well, go ahead and clock in on my app, it's not going to take. So make sure, A, you have the digital agency mobile app. If it's still not working, delete the app, come to evero.com and try to reinstall it. Totally shut down your device and turn it back on again. So those are kind of the basic steps you want to try to troubleshoot on your own before you reach out to us if you still have trouble. Okay. Okay, so I think that was another frequently asked question. Sometimes the location settings don't work, or it doesn't let you proceed. You have to be standing still when you are starting the service and stopping the service. So let's say you're walking out the door, you're walking down the street, and you're stopping your session. The GPS is going to get a little funky. So just try to stand still, do the stop or start, and that should do the trick. Okay, that's another something that we've discovered. Okay, so let me stop sharing here, and I'm going to share on my phone. Okay, here we go. Let's see if this works. Here we go. Okay, so and digital agency, is the mobile app. I'm going to put in my username, and we can always, if you're not sure what your username is. For those of you who are new, when I first set you up in Evero, I set up your user account. I put your email in and your name, and so it will usually give whatever the username is, usually your first initial last name. And you will get an email from noreply@evero.com. You need to get that email to set up your password. Okay, so that's step number one. You can download the app without that, but for you to log in, you need to have your username and password. For you to get your username and password, you need to get that email from noreply@evero. It only lasts for 72 hours. So once that link expires, if you didn't have a chance to set the password up, let me know and I can reset that for you. Okay, so let me put in my password. Again, the provider code is here. Carolyn, thank you. Okay, let me come back here. Okay, so it is the trusting the device. So once you download the app, because it's native to Evero, so meaning it's not on the Google Play Store, it's not on the App Store, you have to trust it on your phone. To trust it, you have to go to your settings. So let's just look at that. Okay, so if you go to, I have an Apple, right? So if you go to your settings and you go to General, you're going to see in sort of towards the bottom, device management, and it says Evero Corporation. This is where you'll be able to trust it. Okay, so download the app, trust it. I believe on an Android, it asks you when you're through the process to go ahead and trust the device. Okay, so you're going to trust the device. Thank you so much for reminding me to point that out. Okay, so here we are. So this is the home screen. So if you've gotten to this part, you're good. Okay, if you haven't gotten to this part again, I would try to delete the app and start over. Double check that you've got your password right. Make sure you got the right provider code, capital CFSNY, no dash. Make sure that's correct. And then if you still have problems logging in, let me know and we'll see maybe what the issue is. So from this screen, what we're looking to do, a common mistake that people make is they go to the little upper left corner where that little person is, the hamburger menu, and they click that and they click punch in and punch out. Okay, the only time that you are ever going to use that is if you're doing a training. Like for right now, you can punch in and punch out. That's direct employee time, and it's not a service or a session. Okay, so you're very rarely going to use that. Instead, on a regular basis, when you start working with your individual, you're going to come here and you're going to click service delivery. That's the first button up at the top left corner, service delivery. Okay, you're not going to see all these programs. You're probably going to see self-hired community hab and self-hired respite. So some of you do both. Some of you do only one. If you do both, obviously you need to follow the schedule and pick the right program. So let's start with self-hired community hab. I'm going to select that program. And here's where it says to you, in order to proceed, you're required to punch in. Do you wish to do that? You're going to say, okay. So now what the system is doing is it's starting your employee time. You're punching in. Okay, so the clock starts for your employee time right there. This screen is also another common place where people get stuck. They come here and they're not sure what to do. All you have to do is click done. This is just populating information. You don't have to drop anything down. You don't have to write any comments. All you're doing here is clicking done. And again, if you want to follow along with me, I would encourage that. Okay, so now let me just check the chat because I know I move along quickly. Okay, good. Okay, thank you, Duncan. Okay. So now in this screen here, you know, this is another sort of confusing screen. And again, guys, I get it. The app has, I literally counted 37 times I had to press the button. So I feel your pain. I apologize. This particular screen is not super intuitive. So what you need to do first is click mode of support where it says select. So it says mode of support select. You're going to click that. You're going to identify, are you doing a face-to-face service or telehealth? So we're clicking face-to-face. Okay. After that, you're going to hit done, upper right again. On the prior screen it was at the bottom, but okay.
Excuse me, Linda.
Yeah.
Hi, Tara.
Hi, Tara.
Happy New Year. No, I was just going on because you were saying, because I know when we do, you know, I do ComAb, Respite, and everything. I always go punch in, but I should just go right to the service.
Go right to the service. Yes, yes.
But okay, so you said that. So and then you said to do it for the training now because I was curious. So I went into punch in, right? Then it goes select, but it's still asking whether I want ComAb or Respite.
Yes.
It's asking for the department. I want to do for this training now, right?
Okay. So for this training, thank you, Tara. So just to back up, so for if you're doing a training like this and you're just strictly punching in and punching out, it's still going to ask you for the program. It's still going to ask you for the individual. You're going to identify those things, and then you're going
one individual, like
just pick one individual. Yes.
Okay, that's what I wanted to
ask
you.
Yes.
It's coming up with still either of them, and I'm like, but I'm not seeing them. It's in direct training, so
it's in direct training. Yes. So they have to. We're gonna bill for your time back to them as an indirect training.
Okay. It won't be a problem. Sorry.
Okay.
I came on late. I'm doing it now.
Okay. Okay. No problem.
I was going on. All right. Thank you.
Okay. No problem. Okay. So remember I hit in the prior window, I hit done after I identified face-to-face or telehealth. And now I'm here in this session screen again. Now it's you know, you don't see anything. So again, not so intuitive. You have to press the person's name. So I'm pressing Casey Test Girl's name and it drops down this session. Okay, now let's stop and look at this for a minute. So the total duration is the duration of the session, right? I haven't started it, so I'm going to, now this is deceiving because I had done some testing earlier. So I'm going to click start. And here's the start of the session, 6:49. So you see now the duration is 0. So that's when the clock started. So again, this sometimes people find that they, you know, they'll go and they'll do up to that punch, but they forgot to click this start. So that's why sometimes you'll see on the roster, you'll see your employee time might be 6, but the session didn't start until 7, because it's based upon when you started here. So what you want to do is get to this point pretty quickly. So all those steps we just went through, you're going to try to go through that really quick, click face-to-face, press the person's name, press start. Once you do that, as I mentioned before, if you see at the top of my screen, it has the red bar. That's showing that, hey, at some point the app might want your location. So if you're concerned or if you're a little paranoid about location stuff, which I understand, you can, at this point, you could just kind of double click and swipe it up, and that goes away. Okay, it's still running the clock. So when you now you're going to continue to do your work, which is the most important part of why we're here, is for you to be spending time, not on the app, but spending time with the individual you support doing your work. So once you are getting ready to end the session, give yourself a minute or two, because you are going to need to record the services. So you're gonna hit the app again to open it up. I'm just going to log back in. Okay. So here I am again. So now I'm gonna click that service delivery button. And when I touch Casey Test Girl's name, it opens up the session information, and you see the clock is still ticking. Now I want to point something out. Do you see the billing time to next unit? We bill in 15-minute increments. What that means is if you work 17 minutes, we can only bill 15. If you work 29 minutes, we can only bill 15. So we prefer that you try to keep the units as whole as possible. So if you start and the start time here says 6:49, and let's say I'm scheduled from 6:30 to 7:30, but I got there a little bit late. Is it okay that I stay a little bit late? So you just want to make sure that you at least get to the whole unit, and that's what that clock is telling you. So I just want to make sure you guys understand that. It's not saying that you can't clock out if there's not a whole unit, but we prefer it that way. It's better for our bill, for us to be able to bill for the services. Okay. So now here's, before you stop the session, you need to hit that service button, which is in the middle. So you're going to hit service. So for you, I want to clear this up because there was some confusion, and I apologize. In order for you to use the mobile app and for it to record properly, you must enter your goals. You have to enter the services before you stop the session. If you don't do that, which many of you have been experiencing for the last week, the employee time, it will just go right into employee time. It won't show up on the roster, which then means that we have to go in and enter on your behalf. Okay, again, I'm not the software developer, so that being said. Okay, so here's how you're going to record your services. So this is going to list all the services or goals that the person has that you're working on. So I have 2 goals here. Let's say at a minimum, during each session, each continuous period, you have to work on at least 1 goal. So, and what I mean by that is if you're somebody that works like 9 to 1, and then maybe you come back from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., each one of those sessions has to have 1 goal, okay? So you're going to simply touch the goal. So number 2, teach Casey cooking skills. I'm going to touch the goal, and it's going to show what methods are. This is written by the support broker with the individual and family. So if you have any issues or questions, or if you want to recommend different terminology, you could speak to them about that. They review the plan every 6 months. Okay. So here are the methods, the staff supports. So these are supports that you're providing. So if I am, before I get to that, if I am teaching Casey how to select a recipe of her choice, and I verbally prompted her once to get the recipe book, and 2 to pick between 3 options, then I gave her 2 verbal prompts. If I also pointed to where the recipe book is, that might be 1 gestural prompt. Okay, if I had to hold her hand to gather the ingredients because maybe physically she needs that, that might be 1 physical prompt. So the number represents how many prompts. Okay, The next is a drop down of Casey's response. So how was she when we worked on the cooking goal? Was she fully engaged, partially engaged? And then we want to select the service location. Now what this location is talking about is, where did you work on the cooking goals? So you might have started the day at the supermarket out, and so your punch-in is showing you in the community, but then you came home and you worked on cooking in the home. So I'm sorry, so this is where you're going to put where you worked on the cooking goal. So that would be at home. You are going to need to indicate certain comments. I did want to point out, you can use the little microphone at the bottom. It does the speech to text. So you just want to indicate, maybe something about that specific goal. So maybe she made an omelet. I don't even know how to spell omelet. Omelet, let's see. This is terrible. Okay, well, I'm getting there. All right. So again, just a brief comment here. You don't have to do too much. And then at the top right, again, this is another common mistake that I see staff make, is they forget to save it. So the save button is at the top right. So I'm going to click save. And you'll know if it worked if back in this screen, if you see in the column, the F is for fully engaged, and the M is for those 4 prompts that we indicated. Okay? So if it's blank, you probably didn't save it. So if it is blank, you would just click back into it, do it again, and touch save. If you worked on both of these goals, if you now want to indicate money management, you would follow the same steps, and you can toggle through up at the top, the little arrows. Okay. So again, this is important. Once you get the hang of it, and I think some of you who are used to using this, it's quick and easy for you to do. Once you get the hang of it, it's good. I'm taking time to go through to make sure that you understand. Okay, let me just stop for a moment and see if we have questions. Okay, let me check the chat. Okay, Faye's answering. Okay, perfect. So yes, you can bill for the training. Sorry that I didn't indicate that. Under direct employee time. So you can go ahead and on the app right now, you can use the punch in and punch out. Because I'm telling you after the fact, if you want me to adjust your time, just shoot me an email. Okay. Okay, I have an active session with my individual that I am unable to punch out with. Okay, you have an active session. Okay, so let's continue on, Carolyn, and we'll see. I'm going to go through and finish this session out in a moment. Okay. Did I capture all the questions? I don't know if I know I didn't change anything with regards to the amount of letters, the characters in the comments. I know that you can't put like just a few letters, you have to put like a few words, but I don't think it's much more than that. I know sometimes when they do updates, they change things and they don't tell us, so you guys might know more than me. Okay. So now that you're done with the services, we're going to go back and we're going to be in this session screen again. Okay, so if you see under, press Casey's name again, you'll be able to see the time to the next unit. So this is a good example. If I have 2 more minutes in the session, I might want to wait, because that's good. Because right now, if I clocked out, we wouldn't be able to bill at all, but we still have to pay the employee time, right? So, okay. So now you've entered the sessions, and you can see under count, it says 1 out of 2. That's 1 out of 2 goals, so that's positive. So you can proceed to stop the session now. So to do that, you're just going to hit stop. Okay, now a few things are going to pop up. Attention, all individuals have been ended. Do you wish to stop? I'm going to say yes. Okay, now here's another one. The following individual has less than 10 minutes until the next unit. Do you wish to stop? It's giving you a chance to rethink it. Okay. So in this case, because obviously I'm doing a demonstration, I'm going to say okay. All right, this individual doesn't have a stop time. Do you wish to make this the stop time? Yes. I'm saying okay. And this, again, the 37 buttons. Are you sure you wish to end the session? Yes. Okay, so here we are. So now we're at the session summary. So if you've gotten to this point, you're good. And this gives you another opportunity to let's double check what we've done, what we've got here. So I've got the service locations are identified, right? This is from the GPS. And then if I scroll down, I'm seeing the start and stop time, and I'm seeing the services as billable. So if this is blank, you'll know. And then the signature. The signature is not your signature. Because we're collecting that electronically. This is in the case where the individual or the family member is going to sign off right then and there, which they can do, but they don't have to do that. So go ahead. What most staff do is they just click unable to capture signature during the session, because again, the individuals and families will log on to the portal and they will review your sessions after the fact. Okay, so you're going to click unable to capture signature and you're going to say done. Okay. And it says you are punched out from the program. And you say okay. So that's basically the session from the beginning to end. Now, if we're doing respite, it's going to be very similar, but respite does not require any goals. So let's just go through this again. So I'm picking respite. I'm saying done. This screen is simply done. You don't have to enter anything there. You're still doing the mode of support. So you're doing face-to-face, pressing done again. And now the session window opens, press the person's name, and you're going to click start. This was, I don't think this popped up before, but these are the pre-screening questions. So once again, if you answer yes to any of the questions except the last one, you're not to report to the in-person session. So, but if it's no, if you review the questions, you can select no and then make sure that you're wearing your face coverings. So you're going to answer that the question. You have to scroll to the bottom to click proceed to session for that to take. Okay, so now this is respite. You'll notice the difference here. There's no services there in the middle. So you're not capturing any goals. You're simply, it's the start and end time, but you still have to start the session. For respite, you cannot use the punch in, punch out. You're just going through the same process. The only exception is you're not clicking, you don't have to, there's no goals involved. So you're just going to stop the session. You're going to still get a bunch of those warnings. And you proceed to the session summary. So you're just going to verify the time here, unable to capture signature, and done. So for respite, this process is very easy. Okay. Back in this home screen, you can check your stuff here as well. You can click the button here and see where it says service summary. If you touch that. So this shows you, like, if I touch it, you can touch it to get a little more info. If I touch the ComHab one, it shows me the goals. So some of you have said, like, how come, you know, it's not showing on the roster? If you look here, it might be because you didn't enter the services. And I know people are learning that. I'm getting emails every day from staff who are saying, you know, I figured out what the problem is. I'm not entering the goals. I thought I could do it after the fact. So I think for some of you who that has been the issue, you know, go ahead and make sure that you identify those services. I have reached out to Evero and I strongly suggested that they don't let somebody stop a session without that. Okay.
Excuse me, Linda. Could you also please start from the? I was kind of late.
Okay.
So punch in until this point where we deliver services. Yeah.
You want me to start from the beginning?
Only punch in and punch out. I got it, but the punch in until that point where we get to the services.
Okay. So I'm just going to run through it again.
Yeah.
Okay. So for those of you, if you did join late, and thank you for, you know, I want to make sure we get this. So you're going to be coming to this screen. Okay. If you click on the little person all the way up at the top left, You're never going to use punch in, punch out.
Yes.
Okay, so don't worry about touching that. The only time you use that is for training session like this. Okay, because you're not starting a session. All other time when you're supporting your person and you arrive to work, you're going to hit service delivery. You're going to hit the program, so you're not going to see all of these. And feel free, if you'd like, to do it right now and email me and I'll delete it.
I'm a self-hired community habilitation.
Okay, so I'm hitting self-hired community habilitation. It's saying, in order to proceed, you're required to punch in. Do you wish to now? Okay. It's punching you in. It's punching you in by pressing that. By hitting done right here, you're being punched in. Okay. Once you get to this screen here, you're going to hit mode of support where it says select. You're going to hit select and it's going to open this up and you're going to say face to face.
Yes.
And then you hit done.
Okay.
Okay. So once you hit done, then you're going to touch the person's name who's on your caseload here, and it's going to open, it's going to drop down the session information. You're going to hit start.
Yeah, right.
Okay. So once you've done that, the COVID questions might pop up, right? And then you'll do that. You can close this out. You're done. You proceed to work, and then when you're ready, give yourself a couple of minutes before the end of your session to come back in and log back into the app. And now you're going to hit service. Okay. So when you hit service, you're going to be able to record the goals. So if we did cooking skills and you touch cooking skills, this will open up. It's showing you the methods, and this staff support is what are the things that you did with the person. So if you verbally prompted the individual to take out the recipe book, you did that one verbal prompt. Maybe you gestured which recipes to choose from. You did that twice. Maybe you physically prompted one time to get the measuring cup. So it's basically, this is what you did to support that goal. And then this is what the individual's response was. So for that cooking session that you worked on, were they engaged fully? Were they partially engaged? You're going to select that. The location here is where you actually worked on the goal. So cooking, we worked on it at home in the kitchen. And then comments is a very brief comment about the goal. So let's say we made soup. Okay, something that's going to be important for the monthly note to know how, Casey's progressing, or the person you're supporting. Now here you have to hit save. Okay, up at the top right, you have to hit save, and then it'll bring you back here. If you did it correctly, you see next to cooking skills, it says F for fully engaged, and M4 is those is the 4 prompts that were provided. So that then, as long as you've recorded at least one goal, that's the minimum. You can record more. Okay.
Okay. So then we just click on the services, 1, 2.
Yep.
Okay.
And then up at the top left, you're going to go back to the session. Okay. And hit the name again to drop open, and you're going to hit stop.
Right.
When you hit stop, you're going to get a bunch of warnings, like, do you wish to stop the session? Yes. It's going to say this person, do you want to, doesn't have a stop time. Do you want them to have a stop time? You're going to say yes. And you'll notice here, it has a 1 out of 2. That means you did 1 out of 2 goals. So you say, okay. And again, are you sure you want to end the session? Yes. And this is the session summary. So if you've gotten here, you're looking at the location is good, the times are good, you've got the goals, and down at the bottom, unable to capture the signature, and you hit done. That punches you out, and then that's it.
All right, thank you.
Okay. All right, so let me see. Okay. So I've received a punch out notification, and we'll get a text saying that I haven't punched out. I know. Renee, I know. I think it might be, I'm wondering if it's just an issue with the multiple sessions in a day that sometimes something, something gets crossed. But what you can do is you can check, as I said at the top left, you can just double check where it says service summary, and you can do a quick scan, like maybe at the end of the day, and just click on the session, and you can just see it'll show you the same kind of session summary we saw, just to make sure that everything is correct there. Okay, let me see. Okay, for telehealth visits, do we need to download the telehealth app? You do not need to download the telehealth app. It's a tool for you. If you'd like to use it, you can. You can basically use the app in the same way. The only difference for telehealth is you're going to be indicating as mode of support telehealth. Okay, so you can use Zoom, you can use, FaceTime, that's fine. You don't have to. But if you want to take a look at, you can. Okay, let me see if there's any questions. Okay. Okay, so let me stop sharing here. Hold on. And then I want to go to the portal.
Hello, Linda.
Yes.
This is Justin. Sorry. What if the person I'm working with is overseas? Would their location pop up?
Oh goodness, what, that's still happening, huh?
Yes, that's what I'm really having a
Well,
hard
it's
time with.
telehealth, right? You're doing telehealth. So the location, so
Yes.
basically let me explain a little bit more about the location. The location for telehealth is going to just pick up where you are. We don't send that information to the aggregator. So we have to take all these elements and send it to Department of Health aggregator. So, it's like a database. So for telehealth, we're not sending that information. Okay. Okay. So now let's say, let's say you're good, or you want to just double check, you want to look, you're going to go to myeveroportal.com. The families also go to myeveroportal.com. When they go to myeveroportal.com, they see things a little bit differently than you do, and a little bit differently than I do, but very similar information is there. Now, of course, it's not going to, oh, here we go. Okay. So let me see. So now I'm going to log in as if I'm the staff. Oopsies. Okay, wait. I gotta turn this off. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, let me see if I can do this a different way. Okay. So once you're on the roster, the myeveroportal.com roster, are you going to attendance roster? You're going to select here where it says program. You're going to select the program, put in the date range, and and then click refresh. This is another thing people get confused. I don't see anything. You got to sometimes click refresh like twice. Click refresh, make sure you got the date range good, because it doesn't keep stuff there forever. And this is what you're going to see. So prior to January 1st, you could have gone in here and you could have clicked this little red plus button. You could have entered things that maybe you forgot. But after January 1st, you can no longer do that. So what we have, what we've done is we've put that Adobe form, which is the manual visit verification form, which I'll show you in a minute. You would fill that out, and then I would come in and I would enter it on your behalf. But I'm only entering the date, the times. You have to still go in here, and you'll see where it says service count, 1 out of 1. It would be red for you. So you would click on that number, and it would open up the same kind of questions that we showed on the app, where it would ask you to enter on the services. Okay, so the goal is that on this, you want it to look like this, where you have the 1 out of 1 goals entered. And then you want to just make sure, this is where I was saying before about employee time and attendance, session time. So you see how, like, I clocked in at 10:15, but I started the session at 10:16. So the better you get at using the app, the quicker those times, shorter those times are together. So, and that's what we're looking for. Okay, so this is the portal. So let me show you. Got too many things open here. I'm sorry. Okay, so we had created this Adobe form because we need documentation. Again, this is not us, guys, I promise you. We need to update a manual form to demonstrate that you're requesting us to add this manual entry. So if you go to our cfsny.org webpage, under SDS, which is self-directed supports, you click SDS services. We put a link there. You see it says, even if you just scroll down, it's right here. MVV, Manual Visit Verification Attendance Form.
Oh, MVV.
This is the Adobe document that, so let's say two things. One is you forgot to, you just click start right here, see start. And you guys are familiar with the Adobe sign stuff. So once you click start, you'll be able to start entering the information. So if you are totally missing a day, you'd click add missing entry. If you need to edit, which is sometimes the case, I totally forgot to clock out, or I clocked out late, so it shows at 9 p.m., but really I finished at 6. So you're going to click that here, and it'll let you just click through the data service, the program, the name, the time, the location, the change reason. This is important because I want to give feedback to Evero on like what's really going on. So be specific here if you can, what the issue is and why you're asking us to do this manual entry. There's 2 on a form. So if you don't have to repeat it, it's just if you had like maybe 2 days in a row, or if you do 2 sessions in a day, you could fit it on here. Okay, but
Linda?
each session should have its own entry. Go ahead.
This is, I think, part and parcel of what the problems that we're having. I discussed the problems tonight with a parent. We have multiple sessions during the day because we have a day program that we have to sort of share the time back and forth with. And so far, the first sessions during the day will take, but for the past couple of weeks since we've changed, I guess 2 weeks or so, maybe a little more since we've changed this, there's always an issue with the second session. We punch out, say I punch out at 11, the day program takes over for an hour. I punch back in at 12. That works. I punch out at 2, the day program takes over, and I punch back in at 3 when they're done. But the second part of it, you'll see, because I think I sent you too. If you get the glitches are in for some reason. Bill was thinking maybe it's because of multiple entry. I mean, because we sit and do, it's gotten to a point now where
I know, it's so annoying. I feel bad for you.
I take screenshots. I videotaped it. He stands there over my shoulder while I punch in, I punch out, I punch in. And it's for some reason, it's not registered.
Okay. Yeah, he put in a ticket. So again, to sort of wrap it up, if we still have problems like Renee you're talking about, we still have problems, we then can reach out to support at Evero.
Well, they have an appointment. They had an appointment today, and Evero, what they said, well, we got the paper from Linda, and we changed. The time has been changed, so everything is solved.
Oh no,
that the issue has been solved, but not the problem, that creates the issue.
Okay.
And one quick, because I know everybody's got time constraints. The other problem that we've been having, and since we've started this from the beginning, to punch in, there's punching in and there's logging in. Now, when I punch in, I get the screen and I have to put my name and my password. It takes 3 to 4 times for me to get in. Sometimes they can't get in. They say, I'm locked down. I got to wait. Now it's maybe 2 or 3 times. And when you're doing it on a tablet or a phone, the parent does a laptop. So they hit the tab button and it clears it. So she's resolved her problem with this. The other problem is...
Oh, wait, Renee, stop there for a moment, because you bring up a good point that that I want to. Sometimes if you're on the web portal up here, so I would suggest to, again, the web portal is not that big of an issue now because
no. I'm talking about the app. This is
no,
app. I'm not
but,
able to punch in on the app.
Yeah, on the app. Okay, I'm gonna talk to you because I
but
feel
the same
like,
with the portal.
Yeah, but the web portal.
The same problem exists with the portal.
Yeah, what I was gonna suggest with the portal, for everybody on the call, another tool that we've learned over time is sometimes you need to clear your cache. So let's say Evero does some updates. it's storing it on your browser history. So if you go to settings on your browser, which I'm showing you now, I'm not saying, Renee, that this is the, because obviously clearly we got other issues there, but sometimes this fixes things too. If you go here where it says privacy and security, it says, and you just check off this cached images and clear the data.
Yeah.
Sometimes just clearing the cache actually helps, and then, shutting the browser down and starting again.
Okay, but now what about the other thing is logging out? Like if we go into the portal, it buffers and buffers forever. It never shuts down, and that scares me because if somebody else decides to click on there, they can see it won't close. We can't get it to close, so I just shut it off. And he says, "Don't worry about it because nobody else is going to use this." But again, it concerns me. The other thing is that there's usually a time when the screen goes to sleep. For some reason, I guess this past week, my app screen doesn't go to sleep. I shut down today to do the outside session, the how do you say, the day program session, and it was time for me to punch in, and I hit the switch on the tablet, and my client's screen came up directly. There was no punch in, there was no, her screen just came up, and I showed him. I said, "Look what happened. This is crazy. It should have gone to sleep and then logged me out, but not punched me out." Because that's what happens, the screen sleep. And her thing just came up, and I was like, "Oh, this is not a good thing."
Yeah.
So he's like, "Oh, well, I have to speak to Evero tomorrow." But that's recent, and that concerns me only because if somebody else were to sit down behind me and just hit the unsleep button, this person's, that's a HIPAA issue that that makes me scratch my head too, because anybody can see that. But lucky for us, it's just in the house. But they need to find
just
out.
make sure. Yeah, I mean that typically in your case, and this is another thought too, that and some of you are using the individual or the family's app. You can use your own app. You can you should have a backup.
I'm using their
No, I know.
Their equipment. I'm
I know.
not using their. Yeah, I'm using their equipment.
Yeah, no, I was just making a general point that
Oh, I see.
there was a staff person I was talking to the other day, and what I was suggesting, because we all know that things happen, so you might lose your phone, so it's good to have a backup. So if the individual you're supporting has a smartphone, and they download Evero, the digital agency, on their app, you can use theirs. Again, your username and password is yours. You should never save the password on the device, kind of prevent those types of things. Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No.
But Renee, we will definitely continue to troubleshoot your issues, because I know, it is a number. Let me just get back to
Linda.
Sure.
Linda, there's some questions, Linda, in the chat. Sorry.
Yep. And I'm looking.
Someone had a question.
Yeah, I
they
see,
wanted to
Eric.
know about
I see.
where to put it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
to go back, and I did just respond to. So again, the way to resolve, if you forget to punch out, punch in, your app just got stolen, whatever it is that prevented you from not being able to enter into the app on a timely fashion, you have to go to our website, which is cfsny.org, and click SDS services, and you'll see this manual visit verification form. It's in Adobe. Once you fill out all of the elements here, it's going to come straight to me. I'm not going to be able to
how's the
enter it immediately.
CDS form calling? How's the CDS form is called? Like you click on the CDS and then it's pump up, or how's this called? This
How
form?
does it scroll? It's
Called.
How is it called?
Yes.
Okay. So this form is called Manual Visit Verification Attendance Form.
So I click on CDS,
SDS services.
Okay.
And you'll come here. There's a shortcut up at the top, MVV. But if you just scroll down on the page, you'll see it, Manual Visit Verification Attendance Form.
Okay.
And it's a Adobe sign. So once you click start, you'll be able to enter it. This is only for the occasional entry, guys. Please, the reason we're doing this meeting now is so that we can use the app properly, so that this would only need to be done on occasion. I'm entering all of these myself right now, and it's a lot of work. So if we can get the app those situations rectified, and really just use this for when those rare situations happen, that would be wonderful. So you're going to complete this form. It's going to come to me automatically. I will get to entering it hopefully soon. What I've been doing is emailing people to say, I've entered it, go ahead and enter your services. Once you get that email from me, you're going to head over to your portal. myeveroportal.com is the website, using your same username and password. You're going to go to attendance roster, and you're going to put the department, the program, the date range, click refresh, and you'll see this will populate. So if I entered something on your behalf, you will see it look like this, except for it will have a red service count. When you click on the number, it'll open up the services so that you can enter the goals there. Okay, Eric, good, you got it. Okay, another question. I'm unable to connect through the Android app unless I am using a dedicated Wi-Fi signal. It won't connect using my regular cell signal. Okay, Anthony, could you do me a favor and email that to me? I'd like to send that to Evero support. I haven't heard that one before, so give me as much information as possible, maybe like the device you're using or the service you're using. I haven't heard that one, so but please send that to me so that I can get back to you. Okay, and again, that's going to be our response. Is if we can't fix something, we're going to reach out to Evero support. So taking screenshots, sending detailed information, so that we can see and have as much detail to try to troubleshoot is going to be helpful. Okay, I'm looking through the chat. I think we've mostly addressed the questions here. Is anybody else want to?
Linda, can I ask you one other question?
Go for it.
That is, you had mentioned, and now I just forgot what I was going to ask. Oh, do we have to fill out the manual visit verification attendance form for everything to date? I know that obviously you're dealing with it. Okay,
Yeah.
I just want to make
sorry.
sure.
Yeah.
No, I just want to make
I
sure.
saw your stuff too, and I was like, oh, it's I'm sorry that you have to do that, and it's a pain for me to have to enter it, and then you have to go back and do the services. But I think my hope is that we can I want to make sure you guys have a good understanding of how to do it moving forward, so we can minimize it moving forward.
Linda, you know our lives. Believe me, this is easy.
Yes. All right. Anybody else? Any other questions?
Are we running parallel with the app? Are we supposed to be logging into two different places, or is it just the app? So this isn't supposed to be a mirror to us also logging in online on the website.
No, it's gonna you should only be using you should only be using the app.
Okay.
You are no longer able to enter directly onto the portal. The only thing you could do on the portal is enter the services or the goals. That's because that's not one of the EVV electronic visit verification points. So you're able to do that yourself. Everything else we have to go through this manual process.
Right. Thank you.
Hi, Linda. I have a question. Last week, this week, I did a lot of mistake. It's not right, because I didn't write God. So already I use app. So what can I do? Again, I give you filled up forms to send you.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. And
yes. Go ahead.
Okay, I take picture shots and send you because you send it to me email to fill it up form. I send it to you back, but it's not show me go through.
Yes, I haven't had a chance to enter it yet. So I have, as you know, tomorrow ends the payroll period. So I started to look at people where it was just on the employee roster, which is why I asked you guys to attend. So there's a lot. So it's gonna take me some time. So if you can please pencil in like tomorrow evening, because by tomorrow evening I will have needed to enter everything so that the families can go in and review. Well, so that you can enter the goals that the families can go in and review. And just so you understand, that's the whole process. So ideally you're doing the app and everything is working well. What you want to do to help us out and to help you out is to remind the families to go into their portal and to review your attendance entries. That helps us to get the payroll process going quicker. Okay, they can't review it if you still haven't entered your services, so they might contact you as well to do that. But yeah, because of everything going on this week, you know, this is growing pains of just, you know, this new change. I'll be entering all those manual things, you know, probably just working on that throughout the day tomorrow. Okay, yes, you should punch in for this training, just directly the punch in, punch out. Okay, and again, if you just punched in right now because you didn't realize that you could punch in for the training, just shoot me an email for me to edit your time back to whatever time you joined.
It won't, I can't go in now and do 6:30 to 7:30.
You can punch. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the app.
Yeah.
And you're going to go to that, I stopped sharing, but
the punch. No, I know the page you're talking about, the punch in, punch out portion, that little button
yeah,
that you can hit.
you can't edit it. So you're going to punch in right now and then punch out when we're done. And you're going to email me and say, you know, I joined at 7 or 6:30. Please, you know, adjust my time.
Well, the issue with that is that the app is on the how do you say it, the tablet that stays with the family. I don't bring their tablet home. We just use it there. So I can't. I don't have. I only have the portal.
That's a good question. Can you do employee time? Are you on the portal right now?
I'm on the portal time. Yeah.
Are you able to do?
I have the laptop here.
Are you able to do employee time? You know how there's a attendance roster.
I don't know. I have to check. This is a new laptop. I just got this, so I don't want to risk it and lose you.
Okay.
I'd rather, when I'm finished, I'll go and check it.
I don't know the answer to that. So previously you could go into the roster and next to attendance there was employee time and you could enter for the training.
Well, I'll check it and see. I'll check it and see on the portal, because I know
appreciate that.
You can't do any changes now for the regular session time, but I'll look and see.
Yes.
Employee time for the training. Okie dokie.
Okay. All right. So if for those of you who have got it, you can log off. If I'll stay on for those of you who still have questions, or if you're new, I have no problem. I want to make sure everybody's comfortable. So I'm here.
And Linda, my parents, once they have the meeting tomorrow with, is it Evero or Evero? I always say.
I think it's Evero.
Evero. Okay. With Evero, about these multiple entry issues that we're having, I guess he said he would shoot you an email.
Yes.
But I think I sent you in writing the question that he had, why I couldn't see my whole week on the app, because sometimes the portal just dies. It says that your server is down, or we've got so many weird messages. And we tried that punch in, punch out, the direct, and we didn't get, nothing came up. So I'll try it again. I think I put that in the written information to you. I'm going to try it with him again tomorrow and see what happens.
Okay.
Nothing happened when we tried that route.
Okay. Yeah, we'll keep troubleshooting that. Yeah.
Okay.
And then, like I said, if you guys are comfortable, you can go ahead and log off. Before you do that, just as a reminder, I sent out an Adobe sign. If you don't have a CFS ID, we can get one to you. Just fill out that Adobe form that I sent, attach into the form a photo of your face that would be on the ID. My staff will laminate it and will mail it to you. The usefulness of that is important now because the vaccine is available to those of you who are providing face-to-face services. So we want to get you that employee ID. It's not required. Okay.
I do have a question also. I'm sorry. This attendance roster and also the digital, it should match. Like if it's on attendance roster, the same hours should be on a digital agency, or
yes,
you know what I mean?
Yes, it will be
because
the same.
I see on a digital, but I don't see my hours on attendance roster.
That's because it didn't, for some reason, at some point in this process, your time didn't take. So what I was saying earlier was that, and the reason for this meeting is that if you don't hit something, so for example, over here, if you don't hit start the session, and then before you stop, if you don't enter the services, it's not going to save on the roster. So that's why you're not. So you're going to have to complete that manual form, and then I have to enter it for you for it to go onto the roster. You have to go in and enter the goals, And then, but then look, tomorrow when you go to work, you're going to do it right. And all of this will be much better. So that's why I put this here. This is the attachment. I dropped it in the chat. I've been emailing it out. My suggestion to you, and I'm not kidding, not because we're not smart people, we are, but my suggestion to you is like print this out and have it next to you while you're doing the steps, because there are a number of steps. As you can see on this first screen, you're hitting it over here and then on the bottom and then on the top. So it's definitely not the easiest. Like I said, 37 clicks I counted, and that was only one goal.
Thank you, Linda, for everything you do. Thank you.
Okay, thank you guys. Like I said, I'll be on, but if you're, the meeting's over, you can log off. But
just
I'll stay on.
Linda works round the clock. We're always on the computer, Linda.
Thank you.
Anytime tonight I get emails, I'm like, oh, this lady, you work too much, Linda. Take a break.
Thank you.
Linda, just
You guys are
Linda, can you put it in the
Oh,
chat
yeah.
again, please, for those people who came on late? Can you put it back in the chat?
Yep.
Yep,
I will.
just a quick question. Who do we email the pictures to with regards to getting the ID?
The ID. So did you get an Adobe sign from me earlier today? Maybe around 3 or 3:30?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So I'll send one to you.
Okay, great.
And then what you do is you just you're going to sign your name, put your address, and then just do it from your phone, because you could just take a photo and attach it right to the document. Okay.
Okay. All right. Great. Thank you, Linda.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Take care.
You too.
For somehow reason, the form, CDS form, doesn't show up. So it's probably because I need to log into my email, and my email is also kind of has a problem with the password or something. I don't know.
Oh no.
So,
you mean it doesn't show up on your phone?
on my phone, yeah.
Do you
Should I use a computer?
You want to try that and let me know if that might help? Yeah. I mean, I also, okay, so because I send the link in the email as well. And then we also put it on the website, but it is an Adobe form that's embedded in the website. So I don't know if maybe that's why it's having trouble on the phone. I'll look into that.
So can I email it to you, also tonight, because because of the regards to the attendance form?
Yes. When you log on to the computer, just I did put a link in one of the emails that I sent, or when you go on the computer, go to the website and see if it works from the laptop. And if you still have problems, I'm looking at my phone now, let me know.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I see. It says third-party cookies, says open in a new tab. I'm just trying it out, because if it's a problem, I want to. Okay, it worked for me on my iPhone, and it said something, but it did say something about a third party, but there was a button to open in a new tab. And we're talking about the manual form opening on the phone. Okay, go ahead. Next question. Sorry.
Yeah, Linda, one quick question. On the Evero website itself, I found an area where you can add the time as well. Should I add it there or do it on?
That's fine. Yes. I wasn't sure. I'm glad you tried that. I wasn't sure. I hadn't remembered that that was there. You can add it under employee time. Yes. For today's training. Only for today's training.
Okay. All right. No problem. Okay. Thank you.
Don't use that for services. Just today's training.
Okay. No problem. Okay. Thank you. All right.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Anybody else? All right. Well, that's all. I hope you guys have a good night, and we'll have a better week next week. All right. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.